The room smelled like burnt herbs and old blood. My wrists burned against the rope, my head throbbed. Through the haze, I saw the calabash on the floor, half filled with something dark and thick. An old man stood over my friends. Ama's body lay still on the concrete. Her head was gone. He held Adoja's jaw open while one of the boys poured black liquid down her throat. She choked. Her eyes rolled back. She stopped moving. The knife came down. More blood filled the calabash. I tried to scream, but my mouth was dry. The ropes cut deeper as I twisted. The old man turned to me. His eyes were empty. "Your turn," he said. That was when I understood why my mother had begged me not to go out that December. Earlier that day, Mama woke before the sun. I heard her kneeling on her mat, praying. Her voice was urgent, like she was bargaining with God. When I joined her, her hands were shaking. After the prayers, she gripped my wrist. "Don't follow anybody out today. Mama, I'm just going to school. I don't care what they promise you. I don't care if your friends beg. You stay away from any party, any invitation, any boy who says he wants to take you somewhere nice." I nodded. Her fear felt heavy and strange. I didn't understand it yet. At the Polytechnic gate, classes were cancelled. The notice was already on the board. December had changed the campus. Final year students packed their bags, laughing. Girls walked in groups, already dressed for the day. The air buzzed with freedom. No exams, no lectures, no rules. Everyone had plans. Beach trips, parties in Lagos, visits to boyfriends in other cities. December was the reward for surviving the year. Ama and Adoja had that same energy. They stood out even in the crowd. "This is our time," Ama had said earlier that week. "We worked hard. We deserve to enjoy ourselves." Adoja agreed. "If we don't live now, when will we?" It made sense. Parents were far away. Money was flowing. December belonged to the young. My two friends were dressed like they were going to a wedding. Ama's dress shimmered. Adoja's makeup was perfect. "You look too serious," Ama said, laughing. "It's December. Live small." "We're going to a party," Adoja added. "Just a small one. Come with us." I shook my head. "I can't. I need to study." Ama rolled her eyes. "Study what? School is closed till January." "Don't be boring, Toba. It's just food, music, and vibes. We'll be back before evening." I hesitated. Mama's warning rang in my head, but my friends were smiling. It didn't look dangerous. "Just for a little while," I said quietly. Ama clapped her hands. Adoja grinned. "That's our girl." The car pulled up 20 minutes later. I stood by the gate, phone in hand. For a second, I almost texted Mama that I felt sick. My thumb hovered over the screen. "Toba, come on," Ama called from inside the car. I put the phone away. December was for enjoyment. Mama's voice followed me even as I opened the car door. Danny was driving. He was Adoja's boyfriend, the one who always had money. His smile was wide and easy. Two other boys sat in the back. Raji talked the most, cracking jokes. Faji barely spoke. He just watched. The music was loud. The car smelled like expensive cologne. I sat by the window. My friends were dancing in their seats. Danny kept glancing at us in the rearview mirror, his grin never fading. "Not every smile leads you home," he said suddenly, laughing at his own joke. Raji nodded. "Very true." Faji said nothing. He was still watching. "This December goes sweet for us," Danny added to Raji. Raji nodded. "Very sweet." The house was full of people. Music pounded through the walls. I danced with Faji. He didn't say much, but his hands stayed on my waist a little too long. After an hour, Danny clapped his hands. "All right, girls, time for something special. I got us a table at a hotel nearby. Real food, not this party nonsense." The girls cheered. My stomach tightened, but I didn't say anything. We drove to a hotel on the edge of town. The table was already set. Rice, chicken, drinks in bottles that gleamed under the lights. When we arrived, I noticed the gate. It was tall and had been locked behind us right after the car entered. The security guard didn't smile. He just stared. Inside, the hotel felt empty, too quiet for an afternoon. The few staff members moved with their heads down. The receptionist glanced at us, then quickly looked away. My chest tightened. I wanted to say something, but Ama and Adoja were already following the boys upstairs. At the table, I watched Danny lean over and whisper something to Raji. Both of them looked at us and nodded. It was quick, almost invisible. But I saw it. The gate, the staff, the whispers. I should leave. I should call Mama. I should run. But my friends were laughing, and the music was playing. "Eat, my queens," Danny said, pulling out chairs. I reached for my phone. Faji gently pushed my hand down and smiled. "Relax. Enjoy yourself." The music dipped for a moment. The room felt too still. When my drink arrived, I sipped it slowly. It tasted wrong, not bitter, just strange. I set the glass down. "Drink up," Raji said, refilling it. "No waste allowed." My phone buzzed in my bag. I didn't hear it over the noise. At her market stall, Mama called me for the 10th time. The phone rang and rang. My head began to spin. The room tilted. My arms felt heavy. I tried to stand, but my legs buckled. Ama slumped forward first, then Adoja. I reached for the table, but the floor rushed up to meet me. Everything went black. When I woke, the air was cold and damp. I was lying on concrete. My hands and feet were tied. The ropes bit into my skin. I turned my head. Ama and Adoja were beside me, still out cold. We were in an unfinished building. The walls were cracked. No windows, just darkness and the smell of earth and something metallic. Footsteps echoed. Danny, Raji, and Faji walked in. Their faces were different now. No smiles, no jokes. Behind them came an old man. He carried a cloth bundle. When he unwrapped it, I saw the knives. "Wake them," the old man said. Raji slapped Ama's face. She groaned and opened her eyes. Adoja woke next, her breath coming in short gasps. "Please," Ama whispered, "please, we didn't do anything." "Quiet," the old man said. He placed a calabash on the floor, then he pulled out a small black bottle. "Drink," he said to Adoja. She shook her head, tears streaming down her face. Danny grabbed her jaw and forced the liquid into her mouth. She swallowed. Her body went stiff. Then she collapsed. The old man moved quickly. The knife flashed. I screamed, but the sound was swallowed by the empty room. Blood filled the calabash. The old man turned to Ama. She was too weak to fight. She drank. She fell. The knife came down again. I sobbed. My whole body shook. "Why are you doing this? Why?" The old man didn't answer. He walked toward me with the bottle. "Hold her," he said. Raji and Faji grabbed my head. The liquid burned my throat as they poured it down. I gagged. My stomach twisted. I vomited it back up, black liquid spilling onto the floor. The old man frowned. Again. They forced more down. I vomited again, and again, and again. The old man stepped back. His face was hard. "She cannot be taken," he said quietly. "Her blood is rejected." Danny's eyes widened. "What do we do?" "Make her useless. Break her body. She will live, but she will carry this night forever." They beat me until I couldn't stand, until my ribs screamed and my vision blurred. Then they dragged me to the car and threw me onto the roadside. A woman selling tomatoes saw me first. She screamed. People ran over. My clothes were torn. My face was bloody. I wasn't moving. Mama heard the commotion. She pushed through the crowd. When she saw me, she fell to her knees. "Toba!" I opened my eyes, just barely. "Mama," I whispered. She lifted me and ran. She didn't stop until she reached the prophet's house. I later learned what happened to the boys. And 3 minutes after they dumped me, they were still laughing. Danny turned up the music. Raji opened a bottle. Faji leaned back in his seat, finally smiling. "This December is ours," Danny said. The truck came out of nowhere. The crash was instant. Metal screamed. Glass shattered. Raji died on impact. Danny's legs were crushed. One of his eyes was gone. Faji's arm was severed. People gathered. Someone recognized the car. "That's them. The boys who dumped that girl." At the prophet's house, I spoke in a broken voice. "They killed them. Ama, Adoja. They cut off their heads. I should have listened to you, Mama." Mama held me and wept. The prophet placed herbs on my wounds and prayed over me. "She will live," he said, "but she will never be the same." They told me later that Danny and Faji were dragged from the wreckage and thrown in prison. Danny sat in his cell with no legs and one eye. Faji clutched the stump where his arm used to be. I recovered slowly. I couldn't walk without help. My voice was faint. Months later, the smell of metal still made my chest tighten. Laughter no longer sounded harmless. Sometimes, in my sleep, I heard Mama's voice again. The nightmares never stopped. My story spread through the town like wildfire. Within weeks, mothers put together meetings at the church. They spoke in tight circles, their voices low and urgent. "Ask where they're going," one mother said. "Ask who will be there. Ask when they'll return." The rules changed overnight. Girls who used to move freely now had curfews. Phone calls became required. Rides from boys were questioned, then refused. Some girls complained at first, but then they remembered me. They remembered Ama and Adoja. That December became code. A warning pressed into 2 words. When a girl was invited somewhere suspicious, her friends would lean in and whisper, "Remember that December?" It was enough. Mothers began asking questions before letting their daughters out. Some girls stopped taking rides altogether. Whispered talk of that December followed me wherever I went. Parents held their daughters closer. Girls stopped answering certain invitations. December came and went, but my warning remained. Not every smile leads you home. If you enjoyed this story, I'm certain you'll enjoy the next one showing on your screen right now. Please click on the thumbnail to watch the next story. I'd appreciate your support. Like this video, share it with your family and friends, and subscribe to my channel. See you in my next story. Bye.